Labour and their MPs are completely out of touch. It's unbelievable. We know that, and always have. However, Labour's latest blunder has left even their own supporters scrambling to defend them. During a BBC Newsnight interview, a Labour MP was pressed on benefit reform, and his response was nothing short of a train wreck. Instead of providing clear answers or acknowledging the concerns of working people, he fell back on tired political cliches and empty rhetoric. It's genuinely embarrassing to watch. This moment perfectly captures why so many believe Labour is completely out of touch with reality. Rather than addressing the issues that actually matter, they continue to dodge questions and ignore the struggles of everyday people. No wonder their supporters are in meltdown over this. In today's video, we'll break down this shocking exchange and react to Labour's latest disaster. But before we get started, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and join our growing community. Let's dive in. So, have a watch of this.
In the meantime, some young people are going to be living on around £70 a week.
No, people with significant disabilities will be protected. They will not only will they be protected within the universal credit system, which is the one you're mentioning, but they'll also be able to apply for personal independence payments. So people with significant disabilities, if they are young, if they're currently receiving UC Health, they will continue to receive it, and if they have significant disabilities, they will still be able to apply for personal independence payment. But we are not going to write off 21-year-olds.
For those who can't, they'll be living on about £70.
We are not going to write off 21-year-olds as unable to work.
For those who can't, they'll be living on about £70 a week. Could you live on £70 a week?
Absolutely not.
So why do you expect young people to?
We won't. We provide housing benefit as well, and we'll provide personal independence payments.
This is cash in their pocket. This £70
So are the things
cash
I just
a week.
mentioned to you. So are the things I just mentioned to you. That's how the benefit system works. If people need help with their rent, they receive that as well. If they need support with a disability, personal independence payments is there for that as well.
So to buy food, to pay bills,
yes,
£70 a week.
No.
You've just told me you couldn't live on that.
Well, no, I have a mortgage to pay because that's the current situation. But what I'm saying to you, and the benefit system exists to provide housing benefit support for young people as well. But what I'm saying to you is the current system is a disaster for those young people. And, you know, it's all well and good to say you don't like every aspect of these changes, but what you are defending is a Tory system.
I'm not defending anything.
No, but
I'm asking you questions about your
absolutely,
plans.
and that's your job. But I sat in the chamber today and heard people say I'm worried about this aspect of the change, but there's not enough focus on the disaster that is happening in our country today. We are seeing much faster growth in claims for disability benefits than we are seeing actual levels of disability, particularly for young people.
This is how people reacted. This user said, gasped when he said, well, no, I have a mortgage to pay, because why the F would you say that? This user said, aggressive and dismissive. Labour are and have always been the nasty party. This user said, I used to like and respect Torsten, but this shameless prevarication appalls me. The extent of the rot in Starmer's Change Party just keeps spreading. There seems to be no one with integrity left. Michael said, he's an arrogant, lying hypocrite without a shred of honesty or humanity. Actually a perfect fit for Sir Keir's nasty Labour Party. This user said, no bigger sellout than this guy, an embarrassment. This user said, that was one of the worst, most astonishing answers I've ever heard in my life. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments. Now in other news, Sir Keir Starmer's plan to end the use of asylum hotels has been ripped apart just hours before a fresh wave of migrant arrivals reached British shores. David Bolt, who serves as Independent Chief Inspector of Borders, provided a far from glistening assessment while addressing MPs at the Home Affairs Select Committee yesterday. Responding to Shadow Environment Minister Robbie Moore, Bolt said, I'm not entirely clear what its strategy is. If it has one, it hasn't articulated it in a way that I know what it stands for. He added, in terms of the planning, and if there's a different direction asylum accommodation might go in, not having a clear strategy is going to have an impact on that. Bolt also voiced concern about the government's switch from large sites to small and medium-sized sites. I'm not entirely sure exactly what that means, Bolt told MPs. Starmer's government had vowed to close asylum hotels before entering power following the 2024 general election. However, Immigration Minister Dame Angela Eagle admitted in November that Labour opened more hotels than it closed. The Tories immediately accused Starmer of breaching his manifesto pledge after the Prime Minister promised to end the use of asylum hotels in a bid to claw back billions of pounds. After opening a number of additional asylum hotels, the total costs for housing migrants soared to just over £4.2 million a day. Home Secretary Yvette Cooper even suggested that Labour aim to end the use of hotels within 1 year of power, giving Starmer just 107 days to close all remaining previously commercial accommodation sites. The Border Czar's comments also come after a fresh surge of Channel crossing migrants reach British shores. Migrant crossings recorded earlier this month resulted in the UK reaching yet another shocking milestone, with 592 arrivals on March 2nd, marking a 20% increase compared to the same period last year. It was also revealed that another 120 migrants crossed the English Channel today, taking the overall number for 2025 to almost 4,500. Responding to the latest wave of Channel crossings, a Home Office spokesman said, "We all want to end dangerous small boat crossings which threaten lives and undermine our border security. The people smuggling gangs do not care if the vulnerable people they exploit live or die, as long as they pay. We will stop at nothing to dismantle their business models and bring them to justice." Finally, Nigel Farage has benefited from Elon Musk's surprising attack on him back in January, shock new polling suggests. It follows the Reform leader's spat with Rupert Lowe, the MP suspended from the party over allegations of making verbal threats and workplace bullying. Lowe strenuously denies all allegations. We previously reported how prominent figures in Reform's orbit suggested the infighting started when Musk called for the insurgent party to replace its leader. On January 5th, the ex-owner tweeted, "The Reform Party needs a new leader. Farage doesn't have what it takes." The billionaire entrepreneur appeared to take umbrage with Farage distancing Reform UK from Musk's support for Tommy Robinson. Lowe's defense of the far-right activist played well with Musk, who appeared to suggest the MP for Great Yarmouth should replace Farage as leader. The ensuing row between Farage and Lowe appeared to hurt the former's approval ratings. Recent YouGov polling found the number of Reform UK voters with a favourable view of Farage fell from 86% to 73%. However, Farage has since enjoyed a bounce back, with a new YouGov poll finding his support among Reform voters has risen again to 80%. Meanwhile, Musk's favourability ratings have gone from bad to worse, the polling shows. Most Reform UK voters, 58%, now have an unfavourable view of Elon Musk, an 18-point drop since January. Only 36% still have a favourable view of the Department of Government Efficiency figurehead, an 11-point reduction. While the billionaire was popular among this group in our polling last year, his attacks on Farage in January saw the number of Reform UK voters with an unfavourable view of him shoot up. And since then, this opinion has come to be the dominant one in this portion of the electorate. The results indicate that Musk may have permanently damaged his reputation